guys, and welcome to a new video on Sunlord's Life. Now before you say yes, this is 3 videos in the space of a week. You literally either get no videos or them all at once. But as you know, a few days ago we had the huge Wrestle Kingdom show. Loads of you joined me, so hello to my new subscribers. And obviously the day after Wrestle Kingdom is huge, because I think apart from last year, because we had 2 days of Wrestle Kingdom, January 5th is always New Year's Dash. Now, I wasn't sure on what I was going to do for this, so whether I was going to do a what to expect from New Japan, but holy shit, New Year's Dash was probably one of the best that I've ever seen, and I think I've seen like 5 now. So I'm going to have a look at the entire card, like, not in the matches themselves, because the matches themselves were fine, but the big storylines that we saw and the big surprises. So we started with a 6-man tag match, so we had members of Hontai versus the members of Bullet Club, so the House of Torture, Dick Togo, Yujiro and Evil. It was a fine match. Like, House of Torture won. Remember, because I think we forget this, that the House of Torture are currently the never 6-man tag champions. I know, I forgot as well. Now basically after the match, the members of House of Torture started beating up Ren Narita, who was one of the men on the other side. And this was going on for a while, and then out of the blue, Minoru Suzuki came down. Now, this is a very big thing, because remember, Narita technically is part of Hontai, and Suzuki, even though he's not more of Suzuki-gun, is still the murder granddad. So he came out and started to beat up the House of Torture, and that confused everyone, like, what is going on? Theoretically, like, what happens next is going to make sense. So then the House of Torture started beating up Suzuki, and then, when both Narita and Suzuki were getting beaten up, El Desperado came running out to help his former faction leader and Ren Narita. And at the end, while they were staring at the House of Torture, I think they were going for like a handshake or something. And possibly the direct link to the House of Torture means that they're going after the Never Belts. And meaning that we might have the start of a new faction, which could include Minoru Suzuki, Desperado and Narita. At first glance, that seems weird, because I don't think there's ever been a young lion who has joined Suzuki-gun. But Narita fits perfectly. As I said with his match with Zack at Wrestle Kingdom, he has a similar style that automatically fits with guys like Despy and Suzuki. And I even said, when Narita started doing his more mat-based stuff, even as a young lion, I said, well, you know what? I think he would fit in Suzuki-gun. So if we have a new faction with Suzuki, Despy and Narita, like, I am all for this. And it was the first match, and we already had something to expect, because Narita was as confused as everyone at home was, as commentary was. So it'll be interesting to see how it works with the post-match comments, and whether Narita is going to be, like, one of the newest members of this faction. Leading on from 2 members of Suzuki-gun, obviously this card was a surprise, so nobody knew who was coming out, who was facing each other. The second match, I think it was, well, okay, let's say. The second match, the first person who came out was Taichi. We got to hear his whole song. The blonde highlights were gone. I am very sorry. That made me sad. Because, you know, Holy Emperor, blonde highlights singing. However, we got to hear his full theme tune. Then Taka Michinoku came out. We know what Taka and Taichi are like. They're like that. They've been together for years. And then Doki and Kanemaru came out. And basically Taka stood in the ring in his suit. They were facing Will Ospreay and the IWGP Junior Tag Champions, so TJP and Akira. So basically Taka came out and was like, we are called the 4 guys. So the 4 of them are a new faction. I think, is it called Just 4 Guys? Bizarre name, and they're going to regret it, especially if they start bringing in new people. But it's nice that now, apart from like Lance Archer and that, all of the members of Suzuki-gun, the former members, seem to have a home. What else happened in that match? It was a good match. In the end, Akira got pinned by Doki again. Doki is out there getting win after win after win. So obviously with Taichi now going after Ospreay, and now some challenges for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Because remember, Doki and Kanemaru also beat Catch 22 and the Junior Tag League. We are getting very exciting for that. And I'm going to have to look down and see what happened, because I had to put a bullet list of like everything, because I watched it during my lunch and then after work, so I was like, right, let me get some sort of cohesive order so I'm not going backwards and forth. So far we've seen the members of Suzuki-gun create their own futures, Ren Narita possibly joining something new, and challengers for the IWGP Junior Tag Champions and the Never Openweight Champions. The next thing that happened was we saw the debut, I guess, of the new TMDK factions. Obviously at Wrestle Kingdom, after Zack won the New Japan World TV belt, or was it New Japan belt? I can never remember. TMDK's Mikey Nichols and Shane Hayes came out and Zack joined them. So they came and they were wrestling against Ishii and the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Champions Bishamon, Yoshihashi and Goto. Now there were some really nice interactions. We'd not seen Ishii for a long time in these matches. He only really had the Rambo yesterday, and this was time for Bishamon to showcase what happened. Now, I would normally be upset that the outcome was that Bishamon lost. But remember, this is New Year's Dash. So in the end, TMDK, so I can't remember whether it was Nichols or Hayes, pinned Yoshihashi. So that is a title shot set for them. Ishii then squared up to Zack, and we all know how much we love seeing Zack and Ishii fight. We got the tall, the small, the soba noodle, and then the big stone pitbull. So that'll be fun. And then, the first two matches hadn't been enough. At the end, Zack, Mikey, and Shane basically went up to Young Lion Fujita. So if you know, in the past, Fujita and Oiwa have helped Zack, especially with his matches with Evil, by pretending to be him. And so Zack gave a t-shirt to Oiwa, and I think for the first time in history, not Oiwa, Fujita, for the first time in history, a young lion has joined a faction. So Fujita is now a full member of TMDK, and Zack was like, yeah, it's my young lion. Even a little shout out to John Moxley, who obviously was known for taking Shota under his wing a very, very long time ago. It was bizarre. I also felt bad for Oiwa, who was like stood at ringside like, but I also helped. But I think this is nice. We're building up TMDK and breaking boundaries. And now Zack has his own personal young lion. The next match was something that also started on Wrestle Kingdom. So it was the members of LIJ. So IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Hiromu, Naito, Sanada, and Bushi, yeah, versus the members of Chaos and Hontai. So we had Shota Umino, who's obviously got a feud now with Naito, Yo, Taguchi and Makabe. It was a weird combination. Again, the match was fine. Shota came out looking very nice in his ring gear. The big thing on this was obviously Naito and Shota. Yo hit direct driver and got the win over Hiromu, which also links to last year's Super Junior, so he has a title shot. Again, you know I'm normally not a fan of champions getting pinned, and it doesn't normally happen in New Japan. But if it's going to happen, it is going to happen at New Year's Dash, and it did. LIJ and Hontai and like Chaos and things have always had a rivalry. It'll be nice to see this progress, see Shota have his first real feud. And also, you know what, if Yo can get a bit more exposure, get back into the people's hearts, it'll be great. Again though, I don't see Hiromu losing the title anytime soon. So that was then followed by Bullet Club versus Hontai. So we had God, Master Wato and somebody else I can't remember versus El Phantasmo, Kenta, Ishimori and Jay. Again, mixing up with it, we got to see Wato and Ishimori again, because can I just tell you, Wato was the MVP of Wrestle Kingdom, and his interactions with Ishimori were really good. We saw that there was some nice fun stuff between Kenta and El Phantasmo with the opponent, with the God. And Jay was there, like, obviously after losing the title, unlike last year, he didn't have a mental breakdown until the end. So after the match had finished, again, the match itself wasn't really important. There was no real titles in it. Actually, maybe El Phantasmo and Tama, because that's obviously Tama's got the Never belt. At the end, Jay started beating up Hikuleo. So in the post-match comments for Wrestle Kingdom, Jay suddenly put the blame on Hikuleo for the loss. And now Jay has decided they're going to have a match, but not just any match. Whoever loses the match has to leave Japan. Of course, this one announcement from Jay got rumor mill heightened. Oh, is he going to WWE? Is he going to be in the Royal Rumble? Is he going to AEW? First of all, according to reports, Jay back in 2018 actually signed a 7-year contract or something like that. I think it was similar to Ospreay. So if it is, at least we've got another year of Jay before he has to decide what he does with his future. Secondly, you need to think about the wording of the stipulation, he said. Whoever loses has to leave Japan. Now, At one point, that would have meant done with New Japan. And I know a lot of people have said they'd love to see Hikuleo in WWE. However, with New Japan Strong going, that, and the fact that they didn't actually specify New Japan, could mean that whoever loses the match is out of Japan and is focused there. For me personally, and you're going to be like, Sono, why? You're the biggest Jay White fan. My ideal scenario, right, would be that Jay loses, goes back to America, and has to restart there. We all know that Bullet Club is just not working at the moment. So send him back there, make him fight to get back to Japan. Rebrand him. Like, we don't need heel Jay much longer. Especially after his little interaction with Okada at the end of his match, which I can now confirm he said, I'm sorry for everything that's happened, sorry for all sorts. Make sure to watch the Wrestle Kingdom post-match comments for the full thing. I think that this could be a great new start for Jay. It should have happened last year after his little breakdown, but I think it's time for Jay to have a clean start. Also, with Hikuleo being so good, unless he really does want to go to WWE or something, I see Hikuleo slowly moving up the ranks and getting to future champion. Like, he's 6'9". My guy is a born performer. After all that and the internet getting sent into meltdown, what else do we have to carry on with? Let's do the King of Pro Wrestling title. Obviously, with a brand spanking new belt, after Taichi broke Shingo's, we had the big match between the 4 guys who finished last or came out first in the Wrestle Kingdom Rumble. So that was Shingo, Sho, O-Khan, and Toriano. Forgot about Toriano. Again, with King of Pro Wrestling, as chaotic as it came, we had the members of House of Torture at the side, people working together, Yano being weird. At one point, O-Khan and Shingo actually joined forces to get rid of the House of Torture. So basically, you know, Evil has a thing of knocking over ring announcers when they're sat on their desk. So they sat down, I think it was Togo and Evil, and then they like pushed Yujiro so they could get a taste of their own medicine. In the end, this like very interesting teaming didn't last long as O-Khan hit his finisher, went to pin Yano, Shingo broke it up, and then Shingo pinned Yano. So Shingo is now our King of Pro Wrestling champion again, which is the right decision and will lead on to what happens next. Now, if this was the main event, you'd have thought it would be, but it wasn't. We had the Empire's O-Khan, no, we didn't have that. We had the Empire's Cobb and Hanare come out, and after everyone assuming that Kenny had just gone back to America, everyone was shocked when Kenny's music hit and he came out with that US title to fight on New Japan Dash. And if that was bizarre enough, his opponent, not his opponent, see this is where, his partner was let's start this again. Kenny Omega came out and his partner was none other than his long-standing rival and new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Kazuchika Okada. I tell you, if I'd have done a 2023 bingo list, having Okada and Kenny team together would not be on it. It's almost like when nobody thought Tanahashi and Okada would, because they had a long rivalry, but Jay helped them. It was bizarre, but honestly the most beautiful thing I ever saw. These guys were tagging together so well. Like, honestly, seeing Kenny tag out to Okada, bizarre thing ever. They had like sort of tandem offense. They worked really nicely together. And of course, they got the win in the end. Now, Kenny left very quickly, even though they posted a selfie together. If you go on Okada's Twitter, there is a selfie and that is bizarre. Obviously, it's a shame for Cobb and Hanare, but it was expected. Okada then started doing his post-match promo and Shingo came out. Obviously, he did the same at Wrestle Kingdom, said, right, I have this King of Pro Wrestling title, you have that title. And suddenly it became interesting for Okada because of this title. Bearing in mind that the King of Pro Wrestling was actually Okada's idea in the first place. So that'll be set for some time. Normally matches are a very big thing in New Japan, but this New Year's Dash was phenomenal because of the storytelling. Going forward, we have so much going on. We have title matches set, stipulations put in, and new factions created. It feels like 2023 is set to be amazing, and with the New Beginning tour coming up at the end of the month and then Fantastica Mania, New Japan is going to be full. Like, after the amazing Wrestle Kingdom show, I was a bit worried. I was like, can they continue the momentum going forward with New Year's Dash? Because New Year's Dash can be hit and miss, especially when you have a card that nobody knows about. But there was so much going on, guys, from every faction, including new factions, all the titles being represented, and it just felt like the perfect way to end an amazing few days. Now, New Japan has, I think, a few weeks off aside from the New Japan Strong shows. So this is sort of maybe me thinking what is going to happen going forward. Remember, there are some champions who have retained, so the IWGP Junior Tag Champions, and that means that maybe they're due for a title change, maybe by Doki and Kanemaru. Similarly, we've got new titles and new winners who have got challenges. Whether New Japan is going to surprise us and give a first defense change or not will be up to them. But they have got some strong matches going forward. Yo versus Hiromu, Hikuleo and Jay, Shingo and Okada, Zack and Ishii, the Mighty Don't Kneel and Bishamon, if I forgot, Never title, so this new Suzuki-gun brand and House of Torture. Everything's going to happen and I couldn't be more excited. So, let me know your thoughts. Did you have a chance to watch it? What were your thoughts on everything that happened from this stipulation of the loser leaves Japan to Kenny and Okada teaming together for the first time ever, and even simple things as the newest factions and our young lions growing up? Let me know in the comments. Tell me what your matches were. Even link back to Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Kingdom, of New Year's Dash. What moments stood out the most? And obviously there's the comments, but there's also my social media at wrestling_chat. So hit follow and make sure to click like and share with your friends, because I know you guys have been always so supportive of me and I'd love it if I could spread my channel even more. And hit subscribe if you haven't. I gained so many followers the past few days. So welcome to Sono's life and hopefully you'll enjoy this journey with me. I'll be back very soon with a new video, but yeah, New Japan has a few weeks off, so we'll get to sort of see what unfolds throughout that time. In the meantime, hopefully you enjoyed my past few videos and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!